Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show. I'm Katrina Collier. Of course, I'm author of the Robot Proof Recruiter, which I get in every show, and a candidate engagement speaker and facilitator. And Glenn gets the giggles every time I do this. I'm, of course, joined by my gorgeous co-host, the talented talent acquisition professional, and much, much more, but he refuses to let me say what he actually does for a living. Glenn Martin, whichever side you're sitting on. And today, super excited to be speaking to another talented talent acquisition professional in the name of Sophie Power. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Sophie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, more to the point.
Pleasure.
So, how did you choking? How did you become a talented talent acquisition professional?
Thinking of finishing university with a woolly degree and not knowing what to do with it, so went into agency recruitment, standard. Kind of
Which
realised.
woolly degree?
Comparative literature.
Whoa.
Oh, well, at least you'd be able to write job descriptions.
It's a really expensive book club, basically.
Did you do this book? Oh no, sorry.
I like that. Yeah, and then realised I was crap at sales. So yeah, and I realised I like the candidate side of things more, like the business partnering. So
yeah,
as quickly as humanly possible, moved in-house. That took me about 6 months.
Which is actually not bad going. Some agency recruiters can't get in-house at all.
Yeah, totally.
I got lucky.
We need Sophie's guide for getting in-house.
Yeah, the accelerated guide to moving from agency to in-house. That's a new book, right?
New revenue stream.
Yeah.
Coaching people.
Yes, and then moved into, after doing kind of corporate type recruitment, moved into startups in 2016, which is how I ended up here, I suppose. Yes.
Cool.
Of your preference over corporate and startup, what's your preference?
Oh, loaded question.
Well, after my earlier complaint that I can't get paid by a corporate because there'd be a amount of red tape, and then you guys were going, but sometimes you can't get paid by startups. I'm kind of curious, actually. So
I enjoy working in startups. It's good fun. It's quite challenging. It's quite fast paced. I really enjoy it. It's nice working in quite small, tight teams as well. So it's good fun.
And for any startups out there at the moment, they were looking for a super talented talent acquisition person. I believe you might be available at the moment, Sophie, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so.
Sophie Power,
Open to conversations.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first.
Of me, but yes, I am.
Cool.
And she's worth her weight in gold. So pay her.
Yeah, and then some. And then some. So think of
and Glenn and I will happily take the commission.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever number you're thinking of, startup, add a premium.
Yeah.
Actually,
Mark Lundgren got a job via our show. Believe it or not, he came on the show.
Oh, really?
He did.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you never know who's listening. Particularly as it goes out on LinkedIn Live. So if you're looking for a very talented talent acquisition professional.
Right. There.
Now we've plugged the book and your job availability.
Yeah.
Glenn, is there anything you'd like to plug before we move on?
No. You caught me on the hop here. I've got absolutely nothing to plug at all.
I'd like to be paid to do beard oils. Anyway, so
exactly. But it does leave the opening to move on to the subject of the show, which is as Sophie is kind of showing there the logo of the DBR community. So
designed what?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, who designed that,
Did you?
Sophie? Just out of interest.
I did, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
me and Anna Rowe, one of the other admins, reckon it'll make a great tattoo if we ever get around to it. So
awesome.
Do you do girly t-shirts? I
need V-neck.
I need V-neck t-shirts. If you do girly ones.
Social recruiting, fashion tips. We cover it all.
The older you get, the less you need it up here. You need it like there's some distance from the old neck.
No, I hear you. I'm not big into this, but there we go.
So,
oh my God, Ben's just like rearranging my chair. Okay, let's get on with this.
For the t-shirts, yeah. What is the DBR community? Tell us about it. What actually reverse? When was it set up? What was it set up to do, and kind of what's its guiding principles?
Oh God.
Sure. So the DBR origin story. I'm kind of stealing it a bit because I actually wasn't at the very first DBR meeting, but I know. I actually think when it was set up, I might have been agency. Oh, was I agency? No, I can't.
Before.
It was no, not that far back, surely. Anyway,
so, Glenn and I are both ex-agency and the same agency as well. Hilariously, yeah. So when we tease agency recruiters, we've been there, done that, and definitely got the t-shirt. This isn't an us and them. We love both sides. They're just different.
Yeah, totally.
Very much so, for sure. So DBR was founded in the Dragon Bar on Shoreditch High Street in August 2014. So a couple of people basically met up to have a rant about being an in-house standalone startup recruiter. I'm sure it didn't intentionally start like that, but then it escalated. They met up, once a month, had an event about work. More recruiters in-house found out and joined. It became a WhatsApp group to organise the pub meetups. Then there were about 200 people in the WhatsApp group. So the WhatsApp group moved to a Slack community. And then more and more people kept joining the Slack community, started running slightly more formal meetups with lightning talks and things like that. And then, it kind of escalated from there. The founding principle of DBR is for it to be a safe space for in-house talent and HR professionals. So a place where in-house talent and HR professionals, typically in standalone roles, but we now have people who, kind of work in huge global as well.
Yeah, really diverse now, isn't it?
Yeah, can share ideas, ask for advice, get help, help their friends get jobs, help themselves get jobs.
Share gifts in the Temple of Calm.
Yeah,
which is my all-time favorite, to be fair.
Yeah, I love that channel.
Yeah, but many don't know about the Temple of Calm, but it's quite. I like it on Fridays when we start the gin ones off personally.
Yeah,
with this stream of gin gifts.
Is this like a invite only channel? I'm not aware of this at all.
Search the channels. You'll find a few little kind of fun little Easter egg type channels if you go looking for them.
Is there actually a place to search the channels? This is how naive I am.
If you're in your Slack, just and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a terrible explanation. This is why I'm not a customer success manager.
To be fair, we run this show on a Friday afternoon, so we don't expect anybody to make sense. It might make more sense if we did it over gin. We should run it at 6 p.m. with gin. We're getting it wrong.
Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan.
She gets to do her Friday evening shop, but.
So in terms of the DBR community, I mean, obviously there's Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn groups. Of communities, what really, in your opinion, what really differentiates DBR from these other kind of groups that are being set up at the moment?
Has to be the administrators, surely.
DBR is, I think, what differentiates it is it's a sales-free space. So if you the rule number one is no pitches. It's not a place to kind of sell. It's not a place to make money. It's a completely open source voluntary community. We're contrary to I think what people think. We don't make any money. Operates at a slight loss, if anything. Well,
certainly a loss of your time because you said there's 4,000 in there now.
Yes,
which is a lot of people to control the conversation. Of course, they're not all active all the time, but all of the admins are volunteers, but technically I feel like you're the admin.
That's very flattering. No, I mean every
time I needed help, I go to you.
Well,
yes,
I mean, we were
about 4,000 other people.
we were talking before the show about some of the things the kind of really good news stories that I don't think come out of LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups. So maybe tell us about some of those, because they were really surprising, pleasantly surprising.
We have helped about 400 people, 400 in-house recruiters, HR people find new jobs. Whether it's they're just looking for the next career move, they are looking, they've been made redundant and need help. The community rallies round and helps people find new roles, and that's kind of all over UK, Germany, America as well, which is awesome. and we run a mentoring program. It's very
Cool.
very ad hoc, as you can
Very
imagine.
ad hoc.
Everyone's got kind of a
Yeah.
homemade feel.
I'm the worst ad hoc mentor as well. However, I have to thank the mentor channel, because I'm down for like the speaking, and I have now had several, including a good self, disrupt HR speakers from the channel, which is lovely, because I want talent acquisition as well. I don't want it to just be HR and L&D. So I have to thank you for that as well.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
so
particularly coming up, because I've got Tish is going to speak in March, and he put across Lily from Indeed, who's going to speak in December. So it's great. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's awesome. Yeah, so the mentoring program is great, actually. It's basically just a spreadsheet where people can put how much time they've got, what they can help with, what they charge. It's usually a beer or a coffee. That's all I charge.
Oh gosh, I'm like wine and dinner. I'm dreadful. Anyway.
Girls got to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the great things is as well, particularly if you're in a standalone role. I work in startups, so I'm often a one-woman team, and say I've got a thing, it's a new thing I've had to deal with, and I don't even know where to begin with it. I know I can go into the HR Hangout, or I can go into help or tools, or kind of stuff to read or something, or and say, hey, this is what I'm working on. I'm thinking about this. This is where I want to start. What have you guys done in the past? What have you folks done? Help. Don't want to go to my CEO and my co-founder and be like, right, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. And I think it really helps. I
was thinking of the time I got mind blown, and I really wish I could give credit to the person, because I was actually looking for examples where career sites were actually friendly to people who, they're potentially deaf or blind or whichever, got dyslexia, etc. And somebody put me on to recite.me, and since that moment I really should be giving credit, and I can't think who it was, but it came out of that, and I just tell everybody now, because it's just such a cool tool, that like the help. And it just was it was a private message as well. They just sent me and said this, and you're just going, like just a moment of their time that really blew my mind.
And I've found so many tools that when you're in a role and you've got kind of multiple recs, or that you're working on all at once, and it's absolutely crazy, and you've got kind of demands coming in left, right, and centre. It's really nice to have it feels like you have a team.
Support
actually having a team sat around you. It feels like you've got allies, which is really valuable, and I know has because I get feedback from members all the time, which is lovely. It's felt like a lifeline for a lot of people, and I get a lot of positive feedback, which is really lovely to hear.
Helps candidates as well, right? I mean, there is, fully GDPR compliant, but there is a Slack channel to.
Of course, it's GDPR compliant.
And to be fair, a friend of mine got her job, next EA job, via the DBR community, by somebody I connected on there. So, it goes beyond just obviously the in-house people, it goes on to kind of candidate sharing as well. And I know that, there's a number of kind of templates and, kind of repository for information that you can kind of draw down on in there. So it's, look, to your point, it's even if you are in a standalone role, you can feel like you have a kind of team around you, which is fantastic, I think.
Yeah. The candidates thing is what a lot of people, I think, initially join for, but then hopefully get kind of pulled into the wider piece. But I mean, say a great candidate, you are just like, look, I don't have a role to help you, but I've often gone, look, I'm part of this community called DBR. I can share your profile, or I can share that you're looking, and connect you with people. If that's okay with you. It's just in-house recruiters. I can't promise anything, but we'll see. My best friend and her team all got made redundant recently, and I helped her favorite project manager ever get his new job by posting, with his permission, I should add, his profile in candidates, and
it's also because you've vetted them, haven't you? Because they're people favorite project manager, right? So we know they're good. And you're just, it's sharing. So
I mean, it's a really it's a really informed referral, right? If you're, within that community, you trust in the kind of candidates and individuals you're kind of getting connected to, which I think is brilliant. Surely there must be some agencies out there quaking in their boots, thinking there's a free channel of candidates that in-house people are sharing between them.
I think that's the thing I find the most fascinating, how the recruitment industry's changed. When I started out in 2003 and the internet hadn't disrupted, so you had your little black book, and now the internet's opened up the door and everyone can see everybody. And, really, do we have a black book anymore? Not so much. But I just love so much how the in-house recruitment people, and like even I go so far as to say sources as well. So like at SourceCon, it says share, like just share information, share tools, share tips, share time, just support each other. I love it. I would not have seen that coming 15 years ago.
It's really nice to see, and I think it ultimately makes the recruitment experience better for candidates. I mean, the idea of kind of running a community of practice is to make that practice better, and it's something that kind of the DBR admin team is really passionate about. So and it's really nice being able to give sort of more than, if not at least as much as you get.
Brilliant. I was interested actually, just from your perspective, but some of so to Katrina's point around kind of sharing, are there any particular trends that you've seen quite consistent in terms of either asks or requests or things that have been discussed over the course of this year? Any particular, like say for instance AI or something along those lines that you've kind of seen that's like consistently coming up in the chat
Your
group,
whole face was going, oh God, what's coming? No. He could go two ways with this.
No, in terms of kind of trends, things I see come up repeatedly, particularly this year. I've been a member since very late 2016, I think. So we'll stick with this year because I can't remember that far back.
And it's Friday.
And it's Friday. People often ask about salary benchmarking. People always want salary benchmarking, not just for recruitment, although we do have the DBR salary survey. They ask for benefits benchmarking and want to know, hey, what are companies in this kind of range do? Again, we have the DBR benefits benchmarking survey.
Brilliant.
Which if you type that into the Slack community, Slackbot responds and provides. They want an agency terms template, and again, we have one that we can provide for free. And somebody definitely didn't, naming no names, and companies override the blank template with all of their company details the other day on the master document. Everyone knows what it is.
And is now no longer in the group. Anyway, moving on.
No. We'll allow it. Thank you. They often ask. Also, a lot of I've noticed this year, people have asked about diversity and inclusion in a meaningful way. That's actually been a trend I've noticed come up quite a lot. So quite a few people being like, "Hi, I'm really passionate about this, but I want to do it in a meaningful way."
Not we support Pride Day, more actual inclusion,
That's so good. That is so good.
Conscious inclusion, not just rainbow cupcakes in the office. Although if you want rainbow cut, I'll happily help eat them. But
can I digress off? Can I digress off one on those just for a minute? Sorry. So Lily, who's going to be speaking on December 3 at Disrupt, she ran an event for Black Lives Matter at Indeed, and the CEO came over from America for it. Blew my mind, because you get, sorry, I just have to get this in, LinkedIn Connect, when they ran it in London and the CEO didn't come over for all those paying customers for thousands of people, yet here's this amazing CEO at Indeed coming to a much smaller event, which was for a combination of clients and internal. But wow, doesn't that make a statement about how I feel about diversity and inclusion? So I'm not a fair comparison, but it just sort of showing that he's prepared to do that.
I think that was that event was shared in the DBR events channel. where we share events we stumble across to find out if we know someone who will be there.
Yep.
If you want to go. And yeah, it filled up pretty quickly.
Which is so good.
People were very keen to kind of go to that, and I think it's a trend I've seen come up quite a lot. It's something I've been. So I organise the London events at the moment. It's a learning curve.
I'll bet.
Even though I don't actually have an office of my own to host in, so it's a fun balance of a sponsor, a venue, and speakers, which Katrina you may know about from Disrupt HR, and know that challenge well. And it's something I want to get on the program basically for
Brilliant.
sort of for events. I think.
But it kind of links quite neatly to your role as an admin, because kind of what you've referred to all through this conversation is how much you do, but actually how much you do for free. You know what I mean? How much of your time you put into being an admin. So what are the kind of typical kind of, I guess, responsibilities of an admin? How much time do you see yourself kind of getting drawn down on into this? Because you're always active. You're always active and responsive.
No, I don't know how she does the day
working
job.
or not working. You know, you're always there and present.
That's because I have absolutely no life outside of work. Trust me. If I'm busy, I'll actually just delete Slack for a week and be like, bye guys, I'm off. I will take the time if I need it. But the admin, so what we do, and we work as a team, and we all see ourselves as kind of equal. It's important to stress that. So we manage applications. So you can't just invite somebody to the Slack channel and we'll just let them in. They have to apply, say who they work for. We verify their profile. And make sure they are actually in-house and not just saying that they work at Google or whatever. And make sure that they've agreed to kind of the rules, no pitching, no leaks, be a decent human being. That is a rule. That is actually quite time consuming. I don't get as involved with that, but we have about 8 other people who get really involved with that, which is great. We organise events for like kind of the area that we're in. So other admins have their kind of local channels and they're very active, very involved in that, and perhaps less so in sort of broader channels. And they'll organise, kind of events in Leeds, Manchester, Scotland.
It was Scotland, wasn't there?
Berlin, Boston, which is great. And then. So there's organising events in person, organising meetups. Now the DBR like Thursday drinks, we still go on the first Thursday of every month, but not this week because life got in the way. And it's fine.
I always tend to be busy on that day. It's just ridiculous. I need to. Not busy on that day.
It's up on you as well, and sometimes I'm like, shoot. We're all scattered to all 4 corners of the country. So sorry guys. But it's a turn up at the pub and kind of meet up and buy your own drinks and just have a chat. So it's
it's good.
Yeah, it is. It's good fun.
Yeah, good laugh.
Never resulted in me getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Never.
Only 4:30 in the morning. So
and of course,
and then getting up at 9 o'clock start.
Gosh,
I think so. Going into the etiquette side, so I'm honoured to be in there because technically I'm a supplier and I could sit there and go, buy the robot proof recruiter. By the way, if nobody's noticed, please buy it. No, I'm kidding. I don't, right? Because I understand the etiquette of social media. How do you handle that when you see people that are just pitching, or I was not allowed to use the B word.
Being challenging.
Being challenging. I'd call it something else. Because I was doing a weird comparison, because my understanding from people who have kids that these digital natives that are coming through, they kind of self-regulate. So they go into groups and they have these big group chats, or they game together and they actually regulate each other. I'm not sure as older people we tend to regulate each other so well. So I'm kind of curious how you handle it when you see, I'm not like, why can't I say bullying? That's not fair. What do you do if you think, wow, you're over a line?
I've seen it happen a couple of times. And honestly, it's a free community. No one pays to be there. It's, you know, it's there to help people. It's there to help people get better at their jobs. It's there to help them, you know, develop and get their next promotion, get their next job. It's there to help educate people to be better in-house HR and talent professionals, so that candidates and employees have a better experience as well. So if you're going to behave badly, we will kick you out, and we often do, and we don't have to let you back in.
It's free, and it's a community.
You didn't pay any membership fee. We don't have to refund you anything. We owe you nothing. We're just here giving our, you know, with 17 people that give our time for free to help nearly 4,000 people get better at their jobs.
Are you really 17? I always feel like you're rich.
No, I'm probably just the mouthiest.
No comment.
No, but you know, I've got absolutely no qualms about just kicking people out. I'm notorious for it. If somebody's being an idiot, I'll probably educate somebody.
So on the educate piece, what would you say? Like, just
somebody posts something I don't like. Now it's difficult because you've got to balance sometimes. Sometimes you know, people can get a bit carried away. So it's team, calm down. Sometimes it's a direct message being like, look, I've deleted that post for this reason. It's not okay, but don't post that again. We have a yellow card system if people break the rules. So if somebody reacts to your post in Slack with a yellow card, that means you've broken the rule. Usually pitching, being like, hi, my company is looking for, you know, free users. And if you would chuck you a yellow card, I probably wouldn't, because, you know, we're friends. I think
aren't you in the book? Aren't you in the book?
I'm
checking the index. Like, I always have to check because there's so many people in here I've forgotten.
GDPR is in there actually.
Yes, definitely.
It is.
It would be power, Sophie 20. This is how you know
in the book.
You're in the index.
In the book.
So Melanie Silverman goes around.
You didn't tell me. I knew I'd done the review. You didn't tell me that I was actually going to be in the actual like book. So you asked me to review, so I was like reading through, and then I came across my name, and I was like, I was on a train, and I think I made a really bizarre noise you shouldn't make on public transport. Probably started and got lots of bizarre looks. But it was that was great. Thank you. It was.
You now have to just refer to yourself as Power Sophie 20. Like Melanie Silverman goes around as Silverman Melanie 99. That's just how she wants to be referred to now. So I think
I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did change that name in DBR to @Power. I can't do that on Twitter or any other social media because that's long been taken. But I can be @Power in DBR.
But I think, I do think I think on all social media. So like even today I've put a post out and somebody has gone and given some empathy and then gone, oh, and I can help you with that. Here's a link to my website. I'm like, I really want to delete that comment. It's like,
I had it. I posted a really interesting article about it's about kind of how a company's like brand values relate to, you know, kind of consumer success. And I posted it in a Facebook community and said, oh, I found this article really interesting, how your company brand relates to your candidate, you know, can correlate to your candidate experience, things like that. And then I had somebody who, upon looking them up, they were a candidate brand consultant, and obviously motive. And he just, this article was written by a former employee of mine who is absolutely fabulous. She has a PhD in this stuff. Like, she knows she knows her onions. You know, she's worked with some of the biggest tech companies in the world. And he just ripped her article to shreds. And I was like, A, none of what you're saying actually makes sense. B, like, you clearly have an ulterior motive. And C, like, it's just unnecessary. Like, just say I disagree with that. And I replied to him, I was like, I think you're kind of missing the point. This is why. And you don't get that as much in DBR, and actually people have tried to do that, and actually DBR is quite self-regulating.
Yeah.
And I do forget when I go out to other parts of the internet, the constantly being questioned and doubted, the thing of being a woman on the internet. That's something I've been quite
You should. Yeah, you should try being a female author on the internet.
Yeah,
people just love picking on me now, and I'm just sitting there going, "You even read the book?" It's just a thought.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. But that's true. Actually, I'd agree with that. It's actually worse. But I just leave those groups. I just I stay in there, but I never go in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
As much as as much as regulating, I also see you guiding in DBR as well. So it's as much as when people ask for certain help, you're kind of like, can you be a little bit more specific? Is this related to this or this? So you do try and guide the conversation as well as kind of regulating, which I think is important, right?
It's this, sort of part of moderating isn't just about yelling and telling off. It's about helping people get there. I mean, like, sometimes that can be quite fun, especially, cracking down on, some hidden sexism or something. You feel quite righteous, but and everyone loves the moral high ground. But guiding is really important, because it helps members get more out of the community, and it helps them kind of learn how to contribute. And sometimes I say, hey, could you be a bit more specific? That's quite a broad topic you've kicked off there, and need a bit of context. And sometimes people will be a bit like, oh, okay, and then you send a message being like, hey, look, if I DM you, I'm having a go at you personally. If I post it in public, I'm having a go at you personally. I'm just trying to educate everyone.
But I think that's a great tip. Wherever you are asking for help, you need to be specific, because you're actually asking for somebody's time, which is a gift they can't get back. Like, time is finite. So be specific. Like, I've looked for it here and I can't find it. Could you help me with a salary band on this? Specific. Like London based rolling, blah blah blah, whatever. Whereas I've seen those generic ones and gone.
Because the flip side is they put out that post, get no responses, and go, nobody in DBR responded to me. And it's because, like, the topic is so wide, nobody knows where to start.
If you've posted in general saying, hi, can I have some salary information? For what? For where? For what industry? Could you? You're never going to get a response. Also, I think it really helps people when they update their profile picture. They say where they are and who they are. People are much more willing to help human beings, not kind of little ghost profiles. And that's something that we as an admin team have been kind of pushing. That's been a big agenda recently. Just as we get bigger, it needs, sort of, it's about kind of helping the community still feel.
I forever click through. So someone sends me a message, or what, I always click and look at their profile and go, oh, who are they? And then I often will go over to LinkedIn and look for more before I start. So I know where I'm coming at my reply from as well. I know what kind of company they're in. And
if somebody works in kind of a B2C consumer product type of company, and you work in a bank, you're not, maybe you're not able to help with a hardware question.
But it's also that thing of, like, you're saying this about in GBR, which is an community of in-house recruiters. I'm forever saying, like, why do you have these cryptic Twitter and cryptic Instagram, and you're using them for a recruitment point of view? You're following people. You're clearly in talent acquisition. Why aren't you writing your name? Why are you I find the same thing. It's just natural to want to know who you're talking to. I don't want to talk to a logo. I want to talk to a person.
I want to talk to a person. And often I will get direct messages asking for help, and I'll say, sure, but can you do me a favor first? Update your profile. If they don't update their profile, don't reply.
Actually, we got asked, a company approached me on Twitter to come on the show, and I was actually quite interested to have them on, and I replied on Twitter and said, may I ask who I'm actually talking to? Because of course it was all behind the company name. And I could have been talking to the bin man for all I knew. I was like, can you, like, am I talking to the right person? No reply. I was like, that's really interesting. You asked us to come on the show, and then when I just want to know who I'm talking to, I'm like, people are strange.
It's sort of like a sort of community thing. I mean, like you said, it's not something that would have been as prevalent in kind of our industry, sort of even a couple of years ago. It's grown hugely, this notion of community, and there's some great communities out there. And I think that community etiquette is sort of a kind of a blanket. It's a blanket education piece.
So if you were to summarize it, because we're like, oh, there's ever running out of time. Like if you were to summarize your top tips, other than, my God, actually be a human with your profile, but what would be your other tips for like just getting the most out of a community?
Sure.
Like, big question, I know. So
I'd say lead with generosity. It's not just about what you can take. Be a decent human being. That's a very important rule of DBR.
Have you got any top tips on how to be a decent human? No, sorry, just ignore me. Right.
Be human in all things you do, and remember that you're not, speaking to some anonymous person. You actually might meet them one day.
Definitely.
People travel from all over the country, sometimes further afield to come down. So it's you get to meet these people in real life, and it's really important to be a decent human being, and give more than you take. That's how I've got the most out of DBR, is when I've tried to share as much as possible. And I think if everybody kind of leads with generosity, they'll get a lot back, and the community will want to rally around, the community will want to help them, and that's what, for me, makes DBR such a great place.
Definitely. And I guess it's a message for people that are maybe just starting their career in in-house or just recently joined DBR. It's, as you said, it's a very safe place. So don't feel nervous about what you want to contribute, what you want to share. Your opinion is valid and it will be listened to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Your opinion is valid. It will be listened to. And if we get any, just to play devil's advocate here, but actually, I will kick them out. Don't worry. I got your back.
Yeah, which I think is,
cool.
I know we've talked a bit about the negative side, but which is what has come through the whole time, is that it won't be tolerated.
Yeah.
So therefore, to keep it that safe space.
And
I think that's why it's grown to be as large as it is, because
it's kind of democratic as well, because ultimately with so many admins, you get that kind of democracy, as opposed to some LinkedIn groups or some Facebook groups that's run by a person. Perhaps you don't get the sort of breadth and freedom within 100%. Those.
I mean, sometimes I've gone off at the deep end and lost my temper, and the admins have kept me in check. And it is a democratic thing. It's just like, hi, I've heard this person's been breaking the rules. Everyone cool with me giving them the boot? Yep. Occasionally it's been that person's like kind of junior, they made a mistake, they've messaged me and apologized. Can we give them a second chance? Okay, cool. And there is that kind of behind the scene. That's
cool.
Democratic view. But we absolutely won't tolerate people not being kind. And I'm really passionate about making it, truly a safe space. And I think it's something that DBR's, sort of done really well in the past year or so.
Yeah. So where can DBR folk meet Sophie Power in person next, either at DBR Talks or DBR Drinks? Any up and coming?
So DBR Drinks
gets out diary.
But they didn't happen because I was elsewhere and so was everyone else. Next DBR Talks, and I think it's going to be subject to getting a venue confirmed, which we should be able to do hopefully today or Monday. It'll be the 29th of October. I will be there.
29th.
Yeah, I'm a DBR London native, so I'll most likely be at a DBR London event.
I can do that. Dun, dun, dun. DBR.
We can be there.
I am putting it in the diary. Sorry, like that's shocking, isn't it?
The Eventbrite will go out soon.
I just forget about that. I'm dreadful. More importantly, if somebody is looking for an extremely talented talent acquisition professional,
extremely talented,
extremely. Except we don't actually know where she is. Is she dead? Hopefully. Sometimes we don't know where it is until afterwards. However, Ms. Sophie Power, where can one find you besides LinkedIn? Are there is LinkedIn the best way to find you?
Honestly, I'm on LinkedIn more than I'm on Facebook. If you message me on Facebook, you'll get buried. I probably won't reply. LinkedIn. I'm at Power in DBR on Slack. That's actually probably the best way.
Okay.
Get connected with Sophie Power.
Very interesting about that, the Facebook thing though. I get booked for work via Facebook Messenger a lot. Actually, just while we're on that, please people check your junk emails. Right.
since you've been speaking about that and Speaking for All, which is another fantastic community, I have made a more concerted effort to check my junk mail. Yeah, it's mostly full of spam, but I did find a click and collect notification for some shopping I did, and I wondered where it had gone to.
I don't mean your personal.
Brilliant.
I mean your work email. You send someone an email, you don't get a reply. You wonder why. It's in the junk, and people don't check junk.
Yeah.
We are professionals. We should check. You know. Anyway, I'm going to rant about that every week until everyone realizes Katrina is obsessed with junk mail.
We might
Anyway,
top end that at the beginning of the show just to kind of get it.
Look, I don't know what's going on with my emails or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, no, I do have this thing though that I do think that people should actually, I mean, particularly right now when you're looking for a role, is actually be like open on every channel. Like whatever way people get in touch with you, you should be like, oh, okay, they're coming in that way. It's it's been a shock to me, and I hate when I get a Twitter DM, and if I can get them off there somewhere else, I will. But
I did
it's amazing where I get messages.
My Twitter bio to say I make better martinis than tweets, because I'm really not active on Twitter. Absolute worst platform. Have better.
I may have recently been telling somebody, because it was about airport like travel crimes, and I was saying just kick him, and I'm thinking I can't believe I'm tweeting this. But yeah. Twitter is a cocktail party. Anywho, on that note, I think we are done. Sophie, thank you so much for all you do for the DBR community and for joining us on the Social Recruiting Show. Talent acquisition and professional, right, somewhere there. Glenn Martin, of course, thank you for being on the show. And everybody, thank you for joining us. We shall see you at exactly the same time next week, as in 10 a.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. British summertime, unless it's become GMT by that time. I don't know when the clocks change.
We're good.
Anyway.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.